so welcome to Computer Tech and More. Let's take a look at this keyboard. This is a 2022 model, I believe. It's a very new design. The Pro TKL omni-point switches, next-gen switches, can be adjusted actuation point from 0.2 to 3.8 millimeters, depending on what you prefer. 11 times faster registration, so that's how fast it is. Faster actuation, more durable. 10 form factor, which means you'll just have more desk space around the keyboard. Omni-point adjustable switches, dual actuation. So I believe that was, yeah, half press for walk, deep press for like a sprint. So rather than needing to hold like your shift key or something like that to get your run and walk type movements. So it just allows a single key to be much more versatile. OLED smart display. Other languages. All right, let's open up this keyboard. So if you've been following my channel for a little while now, you've probably been seeing me review a bunch of different keyboards, and it's my quest to find a smaller keyboard than my drop shift keyboard, and I just haven't found one yet. So I'm hoping I like this one. All right, let's go through the box first. We got our instruction manual. One of the reasons why I'm leaned towards the Steel series is because I'm currently using their headphones, which means basically fewer pieces of extra software in order to run things. So I'm not sure yet if this keyboard requires the software to be running at all times in order for it to function. So if it does, then that's another piece of software. Well, it's already being used for the headphones. But, sorry, I'm just talking rather than doing stuff at the same time. So, for example, if for the Logitech or Corsair, it requires the software to run at the same time, then that's just another piece of software that is running, that is sucking away CPU resources that could be used for gaming, and thus getting a little bit worse frame consistency or frame rate, depending on titles. So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of leaning towards getting a Steel series right now versus like a Logitech or a Corsair or one of the other big name brands of keyboards. Would need to look into which ones would need software to run and blah, 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 blah. All right, let's talk about this one. We'll continue talking about this one. This is the cable. How long is this? I didn't see it on the box. It looks like a really good length keyboard. Or did I say keyboard? Cable. The braiding on it feels pretty nice. It's just a nylon braid. They used paper for that. You're not going to see that on camera. That is really long. So that looks like, I don't know, 6 feet maybe, 2 meters cable. The plugs on it it's got good strain relief on both sides. The manufacturing of them looks, well, the USB-C side looks to be a higher quality. So when they have to have this joggle in it, it's when they basically take two pieces of metal and they stick them together. And that's a mark of a little bit lower quality USB-C cable. I think all USB-As are like that. So the C side appears to be a higher quality, but it looks like a standard USB 2 type connection, which is all you really need for a keyboard. Even high polling rates type 1s need relatively little data. All right, let's open up the keyboard and keep this moving. All right, it comes with this nice protective plastic packaging. And there it is. So this is a very light keyboard. The top is clearly made of plastic, The bottom is also made out of plastic. On the bottom here, it has a keycap puller, or at least that's what it looks like to me. It just fits in right there. So that's pretty cool. That's a like silicone style sleeve. While we're under here, so it's got low foot, so no foot, low foot, high foot. There is no rubber on the feet. So if your desk is slippery, this may be a problem for you. No foot. I know this is basically just a standard Corsair desk pad that I use for a backdrop. So if you're a very intense gamer, you may find that this is a problem, but for an average user, I guess that should be okay. Well, what angle do I think I like? I'll probably do the low. When I'm on a desk right now, I'm just doing filming. Okay, so that works just fine. It just slides over the edge, pulls out. These I don't believe are advertised as hot swappable switches. 10 keyless esports gaming keyboard, omni-point switches. I'm not going to try to remove the switch. I'm not sure it's hot swappable and I don't want to break it. The switch design looks like a Cherry MX style switch. At least that cross on it looks very similar to that. The size looks near identical to it. But because of the special functionality of their switches, I don't know if it's soldered in or if it's hot swappable. So I may do a correction later on in the video where I specify that specifically, but for right now we're going to just continue with what it is. Let's take a look at a bigger key. I want to see how they stabilize it. Ooh. All right, so I just took off, what was that, the shift, and they're stabilizers, and they look to be what's it called? They're not plate mounted because they don't really look like they're screwed in, so they're just mounted from the top and clip-in. They're just clip-in. Let's get everything lined up again. Okay, how's the spacebar feel? I'm not an expert, but that feels very well stabilized. The stabilizers are far on each side with the key press in the middle, which is normal. All right, this is the little OLED that they said, screen. Let's take off the peel. And we'll need to plug it in to see what functionality that can do. All right, I'm going to move my mic right next to the keyboard, and we're going to listen to its key presses. Welcome to my keyboard review. Have a nice day. Well, I'm going to say it sounds very plasticky, I guess. Hollow. It's fine. Did I say that this was a 2022 model? Correction, 2023 model year. And this is $189. So I recently looked at like the glorious GMMK2, which costs like $116 for a 96% keyboard as opposed to a 10 keyless, which is like an 80 something percent keyboard, I think. And that's $116. This is all plastic. So if you're comparing like that kind of build quality, you're getting a lot more from other brands. So I guess let's just continue looking over at this. So you see that it's got a slight angle to it built into it, but that feels fine. Lighting. I think the keycaps are made out of... So I just had to do a quick research online, and it looks like they are PBT, so they are probably double shot, based on looking... Man, just knocked over my mic. Based on looking at the material on the inside where it had that white part for the diffusion layer for the LED. PM... Alt Windows. So yeah, it's basically a standard 10 keyless design. So when twisting it, there's some flex. It's plastic that probably has a metal frame underneath. There is a gap around the edge. So if you were to spill a liquid on this, it would get inside and mess everything up. And if you've watched my channel at all before, you'll know that I accidentally spilled liquid into one of my keyboards and dealt with that recently. Oh, it's been 6 months, but recently. So I'm a little disappointed that this does not have USB pass-through. It only has one USB input right there. It would definitely give it more points if it had pass-through, but it does not, so it is what it is. All right, let's do some gaming, or key typing testing and other types of testing. I nearly missed this. This was underneath this orange part in the box. It has a wrist rest that comes with the keyboard. So if you need a wrist rest, love wrist rests, it does come with one. Now this packaging is kind of annoying to get into. There we go. It's a soft touch plastic. Oh, magnetic. I mean, it's good enough magnets actually. So you're seeing me like pulling it back and forth along that. A good quick yank will, but if you're doing a slow pressure, it'll just pull the keyboard along with it. We'll do some typing with and without the wrist rest to see how that feels. So that's really nice that it comes with a wrist rest. So first off, I'm going to notice that these colors are not the colors that I've selected for this keyboard. Boom! Now it changed colors. So before it was plugged into my laptop that I use for my typing test, just the order that I film things. So that means that this keyboard has potentially no onboard memory. Basically what that means is it needs to be plugged into your computer that you set it up with, or use SteelSeries software to, that you registered it on, so you can register multiple computers with your SteelSeries account. And all right, just a few notes before I get into the typing test. I am dyslexic, and I'm typing at a weird angle, essentially with my camera halfway in the way to see the screen. So I'll do the best that I can, and this is a linear keyboard. In terms of feel, I do prefer tactile, but let's go ahead and give it a go. I'm going to point the microphone at the keyboard so you can hear what it sounds like while I'm typing. Oops. All right, new record in terms of speed, but I lost a little bit of accuracy. So 56 words per minute at 97% accuracy. So overall pretty good. Normally I've averaged around 45 to 50 and like 98% accuracy, I guess. So overall typing experience is pretty good. And so that way it'll sync the lighting effects between basically the multiple computers. But that means if you don't have the software installed, you don't get the colors that you chose, which, sorry, my camera was wiggling a little bit. I was getting excited, which is a huge downer in my opinion. It shouldn't have to do that. Like my drop shift, I can plug it into any computer and it's automatically going to set up the exact lighting that I want. The Steel series doesn't look like it's going to do that, which is disappointing, but not the end of the world, because who actually like carries around their keyboard and plugs it into multiple computers, that sort of thing. The coloring and effects, you'll notice that I color them very similar. I'm going to turn down the lights a little bit so that the RGB is going to shine a little bit brighter. Give me more. That's a little bit better. That will help the RGB shine through so that it's a little bit easier to see. So what do I think about the RGB effects between these two keyboards and kind of the coloring? First off, I didn't quite exactly color match. The purple and the red, I shifted it all the way into the upper corner and set the color to be exactly that. The aquas and the blues should in theory be the same. The aquas, that greenish blue, is probably different, and same with the orange, because the orange is kind of a custom color. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Brightness of the keys appears to be brighter on the Steel series, as well as the red. The reds appear very similar. The purples, we can see quite a bit of difference. What's the reflection? Oh, it's reflecting off. So I'm getting illumination from the back of the keys there. See, those are pretty bright. So that's why I'm getting that weird illumination. So the LEDs appear brighter on the Steel series, just comparing the two. So like particularly in like the orange here, the aquas, the F row, the letters, numbers are larger, so it allows more light to shine through. Yeah, I'm going to say overall the letters look a little bit bigger on the Steel series, which is allowing more light to shine through, so they appear brighter. Now, it could also very well be possible that the LEDs inside the keyboard itself are brighter. So, I don't routinely use my keyboard in the dark. Let's go ahead and turn the lights back on. All right, we got some illumination going on now. The lights are back on, so this is how I normally more or less see the keyboard. It would be slightly darker than this, but kind of equal-ish. This does look a little bit better. They're a little bit brighter, but not significantly. Again, like I mentioned before, it is missing that. All right, I guess all that's left is... There we go, that's easy to adjust. Must be home, page up, page down, delete, insert. So I will say I like the way it's labeled there. PG up, PG down, print. Where's print on this? Delete, insert, home, and page down, page up. I wonder if it's a secondary key on this. I have no idea where print is. If you're wondering why I was like obsessed with print screen, it's because it's very useful to taking screenshots of, well, your desktop. So that's why I was actually looking for that one. Otherwise, it looks like a pretty well featured keyboard. Okay, let's keep things moving. All right, before we get into any gaming tests, this is the GG Software SteelSeries GG software. I did have to completely uninstall an old version, go to the website, and install a new version, which meant resyncing up my SteelSeries headphone as well as getting this keyboard, because whatever version I had before would not read the keyboard. So that's a note. This is the home page. You got take a tour. I don't want to take a tour. And then you got the engine, so you can set up your headphones, whatever other SteelSeries. So if you had a mouse row would be there. And you got the 10 keyless, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And boom, this is the keyboard. Okay, so over here, we're going to zoom in. I do apologize for the curved screen. So everything was going to look a little bit weird. So you can set up its actuation. So I really thought I set it up. So current actuation is at 3. Oh, this is regular actuation, not dual binding actuation. So you can set up your actuation between 0.2 millimeters and 3.8 millimeters. So right now I have it set at 3. I think I set them all up at 3, which is what I'd actually do. I'd set every single one of your keys up to be exactly the same. Otherwise, key presses may feel a little weird. And you can set up a macro on it, I think, somewhere where you can set a profile up for specifically gaming, so that typing is one, gaming is another. And then over here, we got dual binding. And here's macro editor. So over here, you can launch that, express macros, start. So this was how you set up the macros for different key functionalities. I'm probably not going to use this, and someone in the comments is going to be like, no. But I'm sorry, it's just not device functions, mouse buttons, deactivate, keyboard buttons. It's just not something that I personally care about, but it's in there for those that want it. And if you're interested in it, you can set up yourself. I'm sorry, it's just not something I'm going to walk through. And then this is one of the key features that led me to check out this keyboard to begin with, as opposed to one of the less expensive SteelSeries keyboard options that are in this 10 keyless size. It was a teen. Is this dual actuation. So if I go over here, click on W, you can see that, oh, there we go. So it has the letters over here, the numbers over here, so you can scroll through it, or you can just click on them. So it doesn't display. A is at the top. So anyways, so I have 2.5, and then full actuation will be at 3.8. So whatever you set this at needs to be different than your normal actuation. So this, in theory, would give me the walk, run. So second action must be lower than the primary action. Remember that when using action, 0.2 is considered a higher actuation point than 3.8. Okay. Okay, well, it's acting a little bit different than what I thought. So this appears to the dual actuation, so I appear to need this to be, the second actuation must be lower than the primary action. Remember that the setting 0.2 is considered higher. So that means that whatever I'm setting in here is the second actuation and is for my game, I guess. So I guess I got them reversed. So I may be just basically going over here and going, hey, I'm going to raise this a little bit higher. What do I have it at? 3 now? Let's make it So as a result, this is going to make my key presses a lot shorter. I don't know if that'll feel good or not. And then you got the OLED setting. That's this part of the keyboard. You can upload an image. You can turn on and off a grid. Invert the colors. Clear it. Undo. And all right, here we are. Oh, that's on off. So clicking. Hang on, I figured it out yesterday. There we go. So holding it, then you can click through the different options on there. And it has Snake built into it if you want to play Snake. So clicking this is back, clicking that is forward. Yep, there's Snake. And you control Snake through the arrow keys down there. I actually played it for like 30 seconds. It was funny. Illumination. So overall, to me, that little OLED screen is completely useless and stupid. Sorry. That is as far as I can tell currently. Discard changes. So going back, oh, Prism. So the Prism piece of software is how you adjust the lighting effects. So you click on the key, and then over there in the corner, how can I fit everything on the screen at once? Can I zoom in over here? Over in the corner, upper corner right there, it has a zoom in percent. So I'm going to put it at 150% so it's a little bit easier to see. Oh, okay. We click on E, and then we can adjust the colors however we want. So over here is the color slider, and then over here is kind of the color adjuster. So the black to white level within that. And it's immediate, or almost immediate. I'm not going to save my changes. Ding. So that is pretty darn cool. Over in the tops, you have default, configuration 1, 2, 3, you can add, rename them, whatever you want. Active layer, reactive layer, idle, single color, different effects, color shift, breathe, presets, prism, casting ghost, warp, you know, they got all the names for it. Over here in the corner, you got device settings. It's 10 keyless. Okay. Prism currently in early access for supported devices, so make sure your device does support Prism before you go looking in this. So then you got apps that you can do whatever with, and probably your game library. So Prism. Am I missing anything on this? You can choose your color. Custom effects. So over here, when you're in the effects, so unless you're doing custom or single color, you can then click animation to adjust animations for size and speed. But my personal preference is just a solid color. To each their own. That's why the software like this is pretty nice, because you can choose what you want. So I figured out one step that I was missing. I'm sorry, I'm holding it handheld. Now we need to go to this dual bindings tab, and we want to select the keys. So then we want to go to keyboard buttons, and after you're in the keyboard buttons, we want to select W, A, S, and D. I'm doing this really out of order. It would have been faster to do it the other way. Anyways, and then we hit done, and then we come over and hit save. And it should be all set. I think I messed up. Okay, little correction. So you need to do this for each and every one of the keys, you click on the key, you click keyboard buttons, you go to alphanumeric, and that's S, so scroll down to S, click done, D, there, alphanumeric, and there's D, click done, and then you got D, S, A, and W. And then you want to hit save, over there. And hopefully now we got dual activation actuation. All right, we are back in Black Mesa now that I set the bindings. And it's exactly the same. Nothing, 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 nothing. Run, 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 run. So I've tried setting it up, and I followed the steps. Oops. In the SteelSeries Apex Pro software, that three point eight, my activation's at 3, which is what I feel it, and it just runs at that first actuation point, not the second actuation point. Let me go back. So I don't know if you can see it. So I'm pushing on it, pushing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, now I'm running. I push all the way down. I'm still running, but I should be walking. And I hit shift and I'm walking. And running again. So I don't know. I followed the SteelSeries. They had a guide video that talked about this macro thing, and it didn't change anything about this. Navigation, commands, function. I don't want it to change to function type, symbol, editing. Commands, navigation, arrow, number pad. Can change it in modifiers. I can change it to left control. I don't want to do any of that. Play on key. Choose the action trigger to set the key. I don't know. I'm perplexed at this point, because the whole idea of this was for it to be maybe I take it up to like 3.4, 3.4, 3.4. That's 3.5. Let's increase that to, I want it too high. 3.4. Okay, let's say. So that way it's not bottomed out. I don't think it's going to change anything. So bottoming out. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Well, in that case, let's just go ahead and evaluate the keyboard as it stands that I can play it. I'm at 100% health. Let's charge this thing up. Alright, before I get into the game, I finally figured out exactly what I was doing wrong and how to get everything working for the double actuation properly. Not gonna lie, it took me like 30 minutes. So first, set your actuation point for your keys in question. So I know they're all different. If I was actually doing this for real, I'd set them all to the exact same point. It's fine. Next, you want the dual actuation. So that's the second one, and I have it set to be all the way maximum. Next, you go to dual bindings. In here, you click, zoom in, and you go to keyboard buttons, and you click this in your chord, and you click shift and the letter. You hit done, you click save, and now you can move to gaming. Alright, now we're in game, and this is what actually kept messing everything up. Go to inputs, bindings, for this game, so it could be something else. Make sure you move orientations. Next, go over to game options, and I had always run as on. So no or yes, on or off. You want it off. It's as simple as that. That was my mistake. So now we're in game, and I do the lightest touch. I'm going to bring the keyboard right up. You can see just the lightest touch, fully depressed. Run. Well, just the lightest touch. It should be a more walking movement, so. Well, so either way, it is slower. And it's pretty clear that when I push all the way, it moves faster. Like, one of the best demonstrations is I'm just barely touching it, and you can see he's moving pretty quickly forward. But when I hit to run, the gun moves in. So, I don't know, what do I think about it? Let's go ahead and go into some combat. Boom. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, I probably would just, I tend to always just have always run on. So, well, there's that. There's the gun. Just run through. And, alright, there's the grenade. Boom. Oh, crap. Is anything back there? Nope, can't get through. Alright, let's keep going. Run, 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 run. Oh, there was another gun back there. Oh, that was it. Those were explosions. Alright, we're back to gameplay again. I decided to just go ahead and redo that run a little bit. Okay, it did launch that grenade. Very good. It blew up. Nothing else is going to blow up. Oh, that's when it's going to blow up. Let's run away. Yeah, the more I'm using this, the less I seem to care about the double actuation. Oh, sure, it's kind of nice to have that choice to just walk around, but I tend to just pound at the keyboard. I don't know why you'd want to move slower. Maybe it's just me and I don't understand the purpose. I don't know. Launch that grenade. Shotgun, baby. Oh. Boom, boom. I'm well aware I'm not playing very well. So does partial work with it? Oh, that's gonna jump. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm in the camp of don't really care. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm in the camp of I don't really care. Personally, I don't think it's particularly worth it. You may feel different, but as for me, sorry, scientists, I don't see any meaningful difference in being able to just do a key press for walk and a key press for run. Keyboard overall feels nice to game on. I mean, the buttons feel good and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, it just, I'm a little disappointed. I thought it was a really cool feature that it would be sort of halfway game changing, but I feel no meaningful. I'm still just pounding away at the keyboard. Maybe there's a use case for it that's different, but I guess not for my game style. I guess I just don't really care about having to hit that shift key. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe for more content. I'm sure I'll be checking out more keyboards in the future, but that's where I'm going to leave it with the SteelSeries Pro TKL keyboard. And I'll see you next time.